So we've come to the fourth and last speaker of this seminar. She is an artist and a designer with an artistic and concept-driven practice. Apart from designing objects and spaces, she also works on projects reshaping value chains and material processes. So please give a warm welcome to Ebba Lindgren.
Hey, it's really nice to be here. I feel like I want to be part of this SVT Freaky Friday club. But I'm going to start telling you a bit about my practice and how I use AI. So for me, I really use AI more as a tool to visualize and to conceptualize, not so much to make specific pictures. I try to create worlds and like draw inspiration from that. And to maybe strengthen and build upon my concepts. So when I first started experimenting with AI, I was really drawn to the generative process because as a designer, I'm very iterative. I don't have an idea from the start that I know I'm going to make. I experiment a lot and I'm in this dream world. And it just really resonates with me. So I fairly quickly realized that this is something I want to learn and really integrate in my process. And I'm going to tell you today how I do that. So my method is first and foremost to experiment a lot. So this film, for example, was made in many, many steps. It's part photography, so it's based on a photo of me, or actually several photos, and it's based on several images that I prompted and then blended. And it's text, so I'm trying to describe lighting and the atmosphere. And then I put it in runway to create this little movement. So there's a constant play with different tools to be able to make something like this. And this swaying motion also sort of symbolizes how I move between real world implementations and the physical and the digital. Because as a designer, I'm very rooted in the physical world. I like to make objects. I make a lot of furniture. I want to make things that people can use for real. So for me, it's not so useful just to use the digital. I want to really integrate the digital with the physical. So the third thing that I think is important is to try to run variations of everything and maybe not be happy with the first result, but look what comes next. And this is really how I work with all types of design. This is how a creative process works. You try a lot of different things, and sometimes it's really hard to know when to stop. And I can't tell you when to stop. I think you just have to figure that out yourself. And usually my design projects are never really done. I always have something that I could add or like think of years later. And that's also something that's quite nice. So sometimes you just have to stop. But I'm going to just show you, this is a picture from reality. It's from an exhibition that I curated in MJ's Hotel together with my friend Maria O'Brien. And this is also reality. This is my old bedroom. Made a project where I emptied all of my apartment and then rebuilt it. So I built all the furniture and all the loose interiors in a workshop in my apartment because I wanted to create a true lifestyle brand. So like objects that was actually lived with. And then I had an open house and I sold everything. And this picture here in the middle is how Midjourney interprets my aesthetics. So it's sort of a mix between these two images. And I think it's here it's really successful. This is easily something I could have made. It's like suggestive, it's fun, and it's also like a set design. So there's a lot of things to discover here, like who is this person? I like this little cleaning bottle or whatever it is. So for me, this really gets my inspiration going. And I really use AI to like fine tune an aesthetic direction and not so much to focus on detail because it's not very good at detailing. It's really good at capturing certain moods. Here you also see a picture from reality. This is the kitchen in this apartment project I made. And this is sort of what could have been, but this never happened because it's just the direction, it's not a result. And then I also think that it's important to remember that you are better than AI in many ways as an artist or designer. You are the one in control. So I'm not seeing that AI is taking over my role in any way because I'm controlling it. This is some experiments I made where I wanted to see how I could continue working on this lamp on the picture up against the wall. So I wanted to try maybe a different scale, slightly different shape. And I don't think it was super successful here because it doesn't really get of the lamp. But on the other hand, the room is quite interesting. Like maybe this be in a home, maybe it should be in a gallery space. And what happens if it becomes really, really large? So it's really a means for me to see my own work through someone else's eyes. Because as an independent artist and designer, it's often quite lonely. It's lonely work. I talk to people, of course, but I can also use AI to talk to and to like push some ideas to and see what comes out. So this picture in the middle is it's a photo of me and everything in the photo is designed by me. It's taken by Petra Bindel and Emma Persson Lagerberg. And I just wanted to see what would happen if AI suggested a continuation or an alternative to this room. So as you can tell, I have a pretty optimistic approach to AI. It won't take my job. And I know this because it's already so integrated in my process. But I did realize early on that AI is a super powerful tool. And yeah, AI itself is not going to take my job. But if I don't learn it, another person who knows AI might take it. So that's why I really wanted to get a head start and learn it early. And I have an example of a project I did in 2023, because at that time, I really needed an intern in my studio. I needed some help, but I couldn't afford to hire someone at that point. So I just invented an intern myself, an artificial intern. So first, the artificial intern was basically ChatGPT, and I just talked to it back and forth, giving it tasks. And for a while, it was running my social media. So it was making posts for me, the texts and images. And quickly, people started to ask, but yeah, what does this intern look like, and what's his or her name? And I hadn't really thought of making it a person, but people really want to humanize this text. So yeah, of course, I wanted to try. And this was in the early days of Midjourney, when it was still really biased towards creating super pretty supermodel women. So all the interns I generated were just fashion models. So it was really challenging to get someone who was more ordinary looking. So it ended up looking more cartoony maybe. But I also wanted to have someone who was androgynous and a little bit younger than me. It looks like a child, and I just couldn't, I just don't know how to prompt away that. So I have a really young intern. But it also makes it somehow less scary. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but for me, I wanted to befriend AI. That's why I did this project. So the intern got to help me with an exhibition. I was exhibiting 2 years ago at Cowgirl Gallery, together with Josefin Eklund, who is a neon artist, and Ingrid Anson Jonsson, who works with collage and also a bit with AI. And I wanted to exhibit this furniture group that I have designed for real in recycled textile material. And I asked the intern to suggest a continuation of this, what should I add to this project? And the intern said that, oh, you should maybe add a ceiling lamp, because it could be nice to have something in the ceiling, because Josefin is having things on the wall and you are having things on the floor. And I thought that was such a good suggestion. So then the intern made this lamp here that you can see comes from this, obviously. The mistake I made here was just having too much fun with the prompting and playing with the AI. So a couple of days before, I realized that this lamp doesn't exist and I have to make it. And that was maybe a little bit of a hasty job. So I'm not very happy with the result. You see it in the back there. I just chose a picture where it's like a bit in the background. But I can't really blame the intern on that. I was still really drawn to this way of working with AI as an inspiration to create real objects, but I needed to find another way to do it. Because in that project, I tried to translate it directly from the picture. I tried to exactly what was in the picture. And it's just really unclear sometimes what is in an AI picture. So now I use it much more as an inspiration. So this project, Alter Ego, is a project that I did together with Kjellemo and Nordiska Galleriet. And I'm going to show you a little film. So I started making a lot of imagery. And it was based on my own photography. Like I photographed a lot of like surfaces that I liked or textures, like flowy curtains, sandy stuff. And also I made some really crude 3D modeling, like nothing difficult, just simple shapes, and uploaded it all to this reference bank and just let Midjourney like generate. And I also prompted telling it that I want a mysterious feel, something that should feel both artificial and tactile at the same time. It should have like magical lighting and feel slightly divine. And then I used this inspiration to create a real world exhibition where the goal was that the feeling should be that you like sort of step into an artificial room. And it was exhibited at Nordiska Galleriet in Malmö. And here you can see it. All of this is real and inspired by AI. And the AI inspiration was also inspired by me from the start. So it's really like a chain here. And I wanted to keep the materials like sort of ambiguous. So I covered everything, I coated everything in lacquer or powder coating to make it feel artificial. And then I added these flowy curtains and the tactile sand on the floor. And I think it turned out to be like quite magical. So this is a good way of working with AI, I think, just to like broaden your vision. And AI has also given me a head start in many different ways. I've been curious about set design and scenography for a while, and also film. But I'm a little bit impatient. I'm not going to pick up a film camera and try to learn that maybe because I'm not so interested in the technicalities. But I really want to create like a beautiful film shot. So AI has opened the door for this. Like I can really play with it. Also, it's really expensive if you want to create like big set designs, as you said before. So this also lets me explore this. And it's good to be learning AI early because then you get approached by people who want you to come and talk about it on stage, which is very fun. So that's also like a good tip. Just do it and learn it and become an expert because then people will count on you somehow. I also wanted to be in on this and not get left behind because it's a male-dominated sphere, and we're also on a male-dominated sphere. So I can read some text for you here. According to recent data from UNESCO, women represent only 20% of employees in technical roles in major machine learning companies. Yeah, I have a lot more facts. It's not maybe so interesting to go through right now, but we can talk about it later. Yeah. And is it dangerous? This is also something that comes up whenever we talk about AI. Is this actually like the end of the world? For me, it's a creative tool and like it's creative expression. So I'm not too worried for myself right now, but it is like the thought is still there. And I don't really have any solutions to this. I think we should just be mindful that there is probably a risk also, but also just try to learn it or like befriend it. Because I know that AI won't stop now, or I really don't think so. I think it's too late for that. And it's also a great tool in so many ways, so I don't think it should. And in any case, humans won't stop either, because we're always going to keep innovating and inventing things, and some of it is going to be really good and some of it really bad. So my strategy here is just to try to be like a little bit foresighted and like be aware of the risk maybe, and then just try to be like have good intentions. But yeah, I don't have solutions for the end of the world problem. Yeah, that's my presentation. And just tell me if you have any questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Ebba. And
you.
please stand over
Yes, I'm
here.
gonna stand
And
here.
also, Britta, please join us. Thank you so much to both of you. This was really, really interesting, and learn more about how you use AI, both as an organization and as an individual artist and designer. And we're actually going to open up for questions from you, the audience. And it's also possible to ask your questions in the live stream, and we will tell them out for you. So please don't be shy. My colleague Pernilla down there has a microphone, so just please raise your hand if you have a question. So the gentleman down there in the corner.
Hello. Oh, that works. For SVT, sorry.
Yes, hello.
Hello, hey. How is your AI sort of super user team viewed within the rest of the organization? Is there a degree of trepidation that you have to overcome?
Sorry, if it's the what we have to overcome, what?
Concern and worry that people might have.
Well, yeah, I would say like we're viewed as an inspiration. A lot of people would like to join in. Everyone is super curious on what's going on. Like we had a big AI demo day that Eric and the bosses decided that we want everyone to learn about this. So it's like more than 700 people at the company got to learn more, and we shared what we know so far, basically. But not everyone can be in a super user team. That's the idea of like having people around the company that can learn and then share. But it's of course, since we are also a public broadcasters, we have to be super aware, and there's a difference between the hub that I'm in, the creative sort of, we want to learn to see how we can use it to make our programs even better for our audience. But if you're in the news hub, so far they are not allowed to experiment as much because there's a difference in what program that we would like to show the audience. Was that any sort of answer?
If other people are concerned or worried, so when you meet people, are they like, oh, we don't want to use AI, or I'm worried it's going to take my job?
Well, I would say like it's in the same as in in the world. You know, some people are super curious and they want to learn and they think it's a good tool and they want to be in the forefront. And some people think it's super scary and they don't understand it and they don't want to use it at all, and what's in it for me and what like. And some people are, it's the end of the world and help, we're all going to die. So I guess we're all over the place, basically. It's just a mini society in a way. But I think, it's not going away. So we might as well learn as much we can to see, how should we and when should we use it. Yep.
Thank you. Any more questions from the audience or the live stream? Oh, we have one there. Pernilla, to the other corner. Run.
Yes.
So yes, I'm curious about how both of you feel. I know, Ebba, you're very transparent about using AI in your work, but how do you see the advantages or disadvantages of being transparent in terms of when you're using AI and how to your audiences?
Maybe Ebba?
Yeah, for me, I think it's actually just added value because it's another skill that people now know that I have apart from working with furniture or interiors. But I got this question recently also from someone else saying like, okay, but aren't you worried people are going to view it as fake or not yours? but it's so much of me, like in all of the pictures that I show and everything I use, because like, yeah, I curate it, just like Laura talked about before. It's really my choices all the way. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and also SVT, how do
Yeah,
you have you asked your audiences how they feel about it?
Yeah, and again, I think it's a very, there's a difference depending on, like we had the discussion earlier this morning, where there's a show, a lifestyle show, which is not journalistic, critical thinking or whatever, it's just inspirational and nice. And there was a segment where they used AI, and it's going to be in the end credits that it's, we've used AI creating this. But that wouldn't, we would never do that in a journalistic news sort of agenda show, And if we were to use AI in a journalistic program, it would be like drawings or stuff that's very clearly not real. It's not trying to look photographic. And then it's just, a tool like any other tool, First there was a painter doing paintings, then you got the camera and they could use the camera, and then you can use, it's just another way of trying to illustrate stuff. So we are going to be very transparent when we use it, and I don't see it as a problem. I think we should.
Thank you. We have one question in the back as well.
I have a question for Ebba. How was the learning journey for you when it came to all of these tools? As a creative, as an independent artist, did you learn everything by yourself? Did you have to go and pay for specific training to learn all of these programs and meshing everything together? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't go to any training, but I started playing with it pretty early just for fun. Like what I first did was I usually write like little diary notes in the Notes app. And then when DALL-E came around, I thought it would be fun to put these diary notes in this image generator and just see how that interprets my everyday. And it was just hilarious sometimes. So I just had to like continue using this. And I mean, YouTube is great. You find so many tutorials. And also just experimenting. There's many things you can do on Midjourney. For example, you can blend images, you can set different prompts, or like also you can tell it how weird it's going to be or like how not weird. And you can also like upload a picture and make the AI interpret it. So it's really just experimenting.
Thank you.
And what do you say, not a problem, but the challenge is that it keeps on coming up with new tools. So it's not like maybe you found a tool that's, this is kind of good, I know how to handle this, and then like the next day, okay, there's a new one. So and that might be even better for what I want to do. So yeah, it's very much an ongoing sort of never-ending learning.
And now I like showed what I use in my work, but I also use AI sometimes just for fun. Like I made a couple of songs for my friends in Suno, which is like a song generator. So just like keep trying what pops up also.
Yep.
Great. And now we also have a question from someone in the live stream. So my colleague Hildred will read it out.
Thanks. This question comes from Tangomina. User Tangomina asks, curious if the superuser team at SVT is consulting international experts or collaborating with other media companies European-wide or globally?
Maybe Erik should answer this, but no, like now we are not collaborating with anyone else, but like Petter, for example, went to EBU, European Broadcasters Unite, whatever it's called, conference the other day for children's programming, and of course they talk a lot about AI. Like, and everywhere we go, when we meet colleagues from other public broadcasters, it's like that's a topic. But compared to other broadcasters, we are very much in the front. Like we've started using it in a different way. So, anything you want to add, Petter or Erik?
My name is Eric, and I'm the head of AI at SVT. We're not collaborating on that many like creative processes right now, but we have a lot of collaboration or like around journalism, for example. We have this big collaboration in Europe, in the Nordic countries called Nordic AI Journalism, for example, where we have developed these like transparency rules, for example, on how we are transparent around what are being AI generated and not, implemented both Schibsted, Aftonbladet, and us as well. But we participate in a lot of conferences, and we had some visitors from SOS Alarm during these weeks, and we're meeting a lot of different people around in different organizations, like having different collaborations. But yeah, definitely we should work together, having like hackathons with other creative industries as well. That would be really fun, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for hopping in and answering questions. Anyone else who wants to ask a question to Britta or Ebba, or them both? I'm actually curious about your relationship to like using AI as a second pair of eye, or like a partner, or like how did that, a creative partner, how did that kind of begin? Like how would you like to tell us more about it?
I think it began with like a need. Like I needed someone to help me in the studio, like actually I probably needed help with other things, like packing things or something. But I thought any help is good. So that's how I like started with the intern, then I just that grew. So now I don't see it as an intern anymore, more like a tool. And it was also like a playful way of integrating it in the process. I never really thought it was a human or anything.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions that popped up? If not, let's give Ebba and... Oh, we have one more? We have time for one more short question.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's me again. It's just about the future of content creation for SVT and also for the artist as well. Can you, if you look further into the future, are you considering how perhaps your viewers, users, etc., will start creating their own content themselves and thus kind of bypass SVT, and SVT will essentially become a provider of like, I don't know, like things that people can train or use or grow their own content from? Do you see, instead of being the content deliverer, you help them make their own content?
That's not all caused to AI. That's the reality that we are facing. If we want to stay relevant to the audience, it doesn't. AI is not going to be what do you say? That's going to just be one part of it. If we create using AI or not, but if we are doing content for our viewers that they need in their life, they are going to use us. If someone else is doing a better job using AI or not, they are going to get the viewers. So I guess we have to stay relevant, and we have to create content with or without AI that fills a need in your life. And if we do that, then you are going to use us. Since YouTube or whatever, it's like anyone can be a creator or being a broadcaster. So I don't really see it as being it's AI that's going to be deciding whether or not we're going to be a prosperous public service company in the future. There is very much more to it than that. Was that an answer? Yeah.
All right.
It's complex.
Yeah, it's complex.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, both of you, for coming, and also to Laura and Johan. We will shortly finish. You can go back and give them an applause.
Thank you.